What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Ro. I just want to come on here and talk to y'all really quick. I want to talk about NPCs, AI, and clones. And have y'all been paying attention to this little TikTok AI clone thing that they got going on, y'all? Don't mind my braids. It's almost time for me to take them down. But have y'all been paying attention to it? It's scary. Like, okay, so if you haven't seen it, you go on TikTok and people is on there acting like NPCs. Like, what's an NPC? A non-player character, someone like a background player in a game, someone who only have one line. They serve no purpose, only than greeting you when you walk by, or stuff like that. Like, think about the Truman Show. Remember when every time he would go in the house and the people would stop walking their dogs, and the people would stop jogging or whatever they were doing, and then when he came back outside, everything would start up again. Okay, so everybody who was basically working in his reality was like an NPC. So yes, so now they started this trend on TikTok where people go on TikTok and they just sit there and act like NPCs. And the thing about it is, like, the NPCs be doing some of the dumbest stuff, some stuff that don't make no sense. So these people, you'll see them on there, they might be frying, they might have their flat irons with a popcorn seed in it, or a piece of I seen one girl with a piece of carpet, she was flat ironing it, just like different stuff. And they react to whatever you send them flowers, corn, or whatever, and they react to that. But like, they basically just sitting there acting like a clone, acting like an AI. And my problem with it is, I feel like with everything that's going on right now, with the movie that just came out and the whole situation with Jamie Foxx, and people was thinking that he was cloned before the movie even came out. Then we see in the movie that he actually he was cloned, at least in the movie. And now they started this whole trend on TikTok. Like, why are they trying to get us to why are they trying to get us to put our attention to this and give this so much attention? Like, is this something that they want us desensitized to, or they trying to normalize, or they trying to microdose and just give us little bit by little bit until they could finally come out and be like, okay, we've been talking about AI, we've been talking about clones, we've been talking about this, we've been talking about that, and one was just spotted. And like, it's gonna be a weird situation where a clone just walk out of a lab and they be like, oh yeah, it's a clone, and just like on the movie or something. And like, I feel like they're ready to peel back that scab, they ready to expose us to this stuff, but first they want to have kind of like lower our defenses, kind of normalize it, put it in a comedy movie, put it on TikTok. You know how people get when shit get on TikTok, they get all dumb. And but people get all dumb. If they was to see some real shit happen, they would just probably start doing the goddamn TikTok dance, or recording it and acting crazy. And people just be doing stuff for clout. So maybe they trying to kind of get us in that foolish energy to where we don't take nothing serious. So now they could just put anything in front of our faces. But yeah, I feel like, with us coming into this time of full disclosure and us being in the age of Aquarius, like, we definitely coming up on, like, they definitely about to show us some shit, and they trying to make us comfortable with it so we don't necessarily react in the worst way possible. Like, we probably about to see some Independence Day type shit, or some or a freaking clone, or something from somewhere else, a clone, a shapeshifter, an alien. Like, even that lady on the plane, that may have even been orchestrated, because I feel like they do a rollout, like just like a musician do a rollout, and they they might do a little teaser, release a snippet of the song, and then they go and they hop on somebody else. They have a whole, it's like a buildup of, anticipation before they actually release their project. And that's what they doing with us. They like microdosing us to build up the anticipation to where we actually see something. They like prepping us for it. But yeah, they definitely telling us we got to pay attention, because they putting it right in our faces. They telling us that they here. Now, whether they is aliens, shapeshifters, clones, NPCs, I have no idea. But I mean, a few of these things I feel are one and the same. Like the clones and the shapeshifters might be one and the same, because I mean, if something can shapeshift into something else, like, does it completely take over the thing that already exists, or is it just a clone of the already existing things? So like these clones, we may see or we may not see. These clones might just be aliens, you know, who can take the form, like the girl on X-Men, who could just turn into somebody else. The other person is still in existence. It would just then be two of them. So technically, wouldn't a shapeshifter or be considered a clone when they shapeshifting? So I don't know. Maybe it's two different types of clones. Maybe it's the shapeshifters who can turn into a clone of somebody, and then it's the actual clone, which is, would that be considered artificial intelligence? Or would an actual clone created in a lab, would that be considered what I say, artificial intelligence? Or would it just be considered a clone? Because I mean, does the heart beat? Does it have blood flowing through the veins? Or like, is it like an android or something? Like, think about like Men in Black, when on the part where the guy's face opened up and there was a little alien sitting inside, like a little metal seat and shit, and pushing buttons and controlling shit. So like, is it a situation like that, or are these things living, breathing, sentient things? Like, and they clone Tyrone. Like, even though Tyrone was a clone, like, he still felt emotion. He still got sad. Like, he was like Pinocchio. He wanted to be a real boy. You get what I'm saying? So I don't know. That's a little confusing to me too. Now, AI and NPCs is basically mimicking people. So like, artificial intelligence, like, it learns, like it can learn, or it can become sentient. And NPCs, like, who's to say that? Because NPCs are artificial intelligence in a way. You get what I'm saying? So who's to say that they can't learn and gain feelings? I don't know. But so, or would that be considered like an android, like on Dragon Ball Z? Remember they had like Android 19 and stuff. Like, are these things androids? Are these clones androids? Or are they like I guess in vitro babies? You get what I'm saying? Like IVF. Like, are they like just, you know, something, were they just conceived in a laboratory and with someone else's genetics, but they're still a real person? Like, what makes a clone a clone? Like, so would someone who goes and get IVF, is that considered a clone, or is that considered like you just having a baby? Because if they just creating people, if they just you know, got sperm and eggs laying around, you know, and using other people's cells and stuff, then I don't know. But I guess a clone would be like a copy of, like a carbon copy of an actual person. So like taking a stem cell from that person and growing that person from that stem cell. But y'all know what? Two things that I noticed in this movie though, and that clone Tyrone, is that two things that I really took away from it is, and I don't even want to talk about all that. Let me just get straight to this. Like, and this make me think of like the boxer who just fought, because I kept seeing people say like, no, that wasn't him, that was his clone, like jokingly. But if we think about the movie, like, people always like to say like, oh, they don't just make grown clones. You get what I'm saying? Like, they got to grow the clones from babies, or like, I've heard people have that argument. But in a movie, if we take it as any truth as being in this movie, in the movie, they had fully grown clones. You didn't see no baby clones in the movie. The clones was fully grown. Like, they were full-size humans already, you know. And another thing I noticed that is they didn't have like their full motor functions. They weren't necessarily speaking. They didn't have understanding. And even with Fontaine, it was telling how memory had to be inserted into his brain. Like he didn't even have memory until they gave it to him. So like when you see like stuff like, you know how they say, like even in the movie, you know, they would swap these people out after they near-death experiences, and then they basically had to relearn everything. Like what if it's we see these celebrities get into these near-death experiences all the time, car accidents, shot, whatever. He was in a really bad car accident. What if they swapped him out then? Like, it could have been a thing where he didn't necessarily have all the information, know all the information if he is a clone. But I'm just saying, let's not take that off the table either, because this stuff is becoming more real with each passing day. They're showing us more, they're talking to us more, they're giving us more information about it. And fiction, just not fiction. You get what I'm saying? These days, it's in the realm that we live in, this realm of vibration and magnetism. Like anything is possible. Literally everything is real.